like I said, this video is for anybody that's going through what I went through last night, because I couldn't find anything about what I'm talking about right now on YouTube. Anything about what I'm talking about right now on YouTube. Anything about what I'm talking about right now on YouTube.
Today, I'm checking out Jermaine Dupri's first MPC X tutorial. Oh, y'all thought I wasn't gonna react to videos anymore, huh? Shit.
What's up, y'all? YouTube world. I'm guessing this is my first tutorial about the new MPC X.
Let me start off by saying, Jermaine Dupri, welcome to YouTube. We greatly appreciate everything that you have done in the music industry. We have felt the effects of that. As someone that is a native ATLian, I can't be happier for someone of great representation to be a part of our space.
I did one about this, so I'm guessing that, you know, what I'm about to talk about is pretty much the same. But when I first started with this, the first MPC X, the way Brian and myself have it hooked up, I never used keyboards outside of what was inside his computer. Yesterday or last night, I decided to use my Phantom, and I plugged my Phantom up to my MPC X.
I just recently returned my Phantom, and one of the reasons why I returned it was the way that it interfaced with the MPC was a bit wonky. And that's kind of true to some of the things that Roland makes as of today. They just don't work very well with each other outside of just hooking it up the old school way, which is 5-pin MIDI DIN. So I already know the vibes is going to happen.
And I was like, you know, I can record audio into the MPC X. And I did. I got this piece of audio.
Okay, then. Classic Jermaine Dupri.
You know, it got into the drum machine, nice and smooth as you could hear it. And then when I started to export it.
So I want to stop the video and show you. He actually has this hooked up via USB. And between like Roland and Electron, interfacing USB wise is a pain in the ass sometimes. Like it will just randomly crash out of nowhere. It's weird.
I go to the audio track. I knew I had to go to audio track. So I went to the audio track and I kept saying, it says edit audio. So I hit edit audio and I couldn't see anything here. I pushed every button that I could possibly push to figure this out. And I knew it was something really small, but I don't like to read the manual. So.
Well, that's the problem. You got to read the manual sometimes, or you can holler at your boy. You know what I'm talking about? I'm in the same area, Playboy. I don't mind helping you out. Come on now.
I'm just the guy that just jumps on here and tries to figure it out. So the first thing that I figured out was that plus track thing. So I had to make sure that I was on the right track. And audio track 1 is where this was at. And then I had to make sure that input 3 and 4 is where it's coming from. And then you hit re-record, you hit record again, and you record it, and then you'll see it. Like I said, this video is for anybody that's going through what I went through last night, because I couldn't find anything about what I'm talking about right now on YouTube. Now
I know people think that I got smoke. I don't have smoke for Jermaine Dupri. I respect everything that he has done. I've done a video reacting to his production methods and stuff like that. I fully encourage people to check out Jermaine Dupri on social media. I'll have it linked in the description box. This is one thing I want to talk about real quick. There is a separation between like the celebrity and the YouTuber. And I want people, you know, that enter our space, because believe it or not, YouTubers are the new celebrities. I don't think a lot of the celebrities like that aspect of it, but just truth be told, we work extremely hard. That has nothing to do with Jermaine Dupri. However, where we fell at the most is being able to relate to the audience at hand that we need to relate to, okay? So for a prime example, Like I showed you at the very beginning of the video, I have a how to record hardware video, but the issue at hand is the language. Am I speaking the language that my audience speaks? You feel me? Like, it has to be in that language. Like, is it how to record outboard gear? Do you type that in? Or it could just be simple that most people don't even know that the MPC X is no different from the Live 2, and the Key 61 outside of the Key 61 having keys and having a different I/O. Know your audience, because it might be a celebrity.
I got a video doing it, then I'm sorry, but I couldn't find you.
It's all good, my dog.
We
it's
hit
all
everything.
good.
I typed in everything. So anyway, this is what's happening. The one thing that I don't like, that I'm gonna talk to Andy, about, is that once you record the audio or audio track, well, I mean, we had a conversation about this, and it's, MIDI. Dealing with MIDI, you still have to do it on an analog basis. So I don't know if you could fix it, but
what does that mean?
You have to record each instrument
separately,
or each sound
separately,
one pass at a time.
I can show you better than I can tell you, because you shouldn't use an audio track for these very reasons. So let's acknowledge all the great things that Jermaine Dupri said in his tutorial, because, plugging up a audio cable from the audio out of your hardware synth of choice you need that. It needs to be plugged up into your input 3 and 4 of your MPC, so you'll be able to hear audio from that, as well as doing something like this, like going into your sampler and turning it on and selecting your inputs 3 and 4. That is something you need to do anyways. And making sure that you have, your MIDI or your USB MIDI plugged up to the back of the MPC USB port. And that doubles as like a 5-pin MIDI DIN jack or whatnot, or MIDI DIN cable, but you can use the MIDI cable. It'll be MIDI out to MIDI in of the MPC. So those things are right. What I want to show Jermaine Dupri is using these audio tracks kind of limit what you can do in terms of, things that you want to do later, like time stretching and so forth. So you don't want to use the audio track, especially if you want to use track mutes to mute that specific part later on for what we're going to do. So basically what we're going to do is just name this track hardware. We'll just pull up, I know I misspelled hardware, wherever, I don't care for right now. And then we'll name this DO5, just for the sake of naming it DO5, because we're using the Roland DO5 in this instance here, just to keep things the same as Jermaine Dupri. And what we're going to do is record a MIDI track right here, because we're just using the drum program. So 2, 3, 4, and I'm using the top pads for a reason. And as you can see, when I go out of that and go into the grid, you can see that there's some stuff recorded. So, you can keep things, instantaneous when you are recording something in here. The next thing I want to do is go to an empty track. We're going to name this track DO5 just for the sake of it. DO5, boom. And then we're going to go ahead and select a MIDI program. So when we select the MIDI program, we can go select the MIDI port. And then once we select that MIDI port, we can select, the Boutique MIDI 1, which will allow us to control the synth. And you can hear it. I just need a little bit more audio. So we have the audio from that coming in, and then we can just turn up the gain on the recorder so that we have the record gain of 3 and 4. That's the one thing I do like about the MPC X. So turn up that record gain, you can hear. So everything is there. And you can also, if you go to your audio track at any given time, you can just go to the eyeball sign and you can select in, and then you could be able to hear the audio from there. Just select input 3 and 4 right here, and you should be good to go. Go back to the MIDI track right there, and you're good to go. So let's go ahead and hide that, and then we could just record something from here. And you can switch sounds. Let's get rid of the... And there you go. You've already just interfaced some stuff in there. You might want to check, the grid, see if everything is locked in properly or whatever, just different things. I'm good with that for right now. Now, instead of recording into an audio track, what you should do is just go shift. So shift or double tap looper. On every other MPC, you could do the exact same thing. And make sure that you set your bars in the looper, because we're using the looper, right? Make sure that you have it on input 3 and 4, you know, so that it can recognize the sound. And if you want to overdub or anything like that, then you can overdub. We're not going to overdub anything. What we're going to do is simply just press record, and then on here on the screen, guys, on the screen, and then press play start. You can also insert effects too. You can add more effects if you want. And boom. Then once you're done, you can turn down the volume of input 3 and 4, and you're just hearing the audio right here. Then the next thing you want to do is just go to export once you're satisfied with what you recorded in. And then you could just name, you know, whatever, you know, pad or whatever the heck you want to call it, do it. And then you just select that same program, that DL5 program, and then you assign it to a pad. Like, remember those pads we recorded. So we're going to hit pad number 13 because that's one of the pads I recorded. And then, you know, if you want to, you can stop, you know, you can stop the progression. You can hear it right here. And then you can choose keep. Boom, it's in there. So once I clear this right here, you know, I can rinse and repeat everything that I just did. But let's just go ahead and go into main. And from here, you can go to that hardware track. Let's go and press the program edit button, and then we'll hit that pad, and you'll see it that right here. And see, now you can do warping. So you can warp it, and that, you know, gives you the time stretch and all that stuff. So that's why I wanted you guys to see it this way versus the audio track. The audio track doesn't allow you to warp, nor does it allow you to do this right here, where if I was to go over into like my pad mutes, my track mutes or whatnot, I couldn't mute that. You know what I'm saying? So you can hear it now. Boom. Like, you wouldn't have access through the audio track to your track mutes too, given the consideration that you went into your preferences and set up instant track mutes. And then we can continue the process. I'll do everything else. Now that everything is done, I'll just go back over here to this program again, and let's play the sequence that we have. And that's all from the DL5. So what I'm gonna do, just to show proof of, you know, concept or whatnot, I'll just go into the grid. You can see the grid. Let's go into program edit. If I press the pads over here and so forth, and I just hit like stop twice so you can stop it or whatnot. And you can still go through like sample edit, or you can just go to your sample edit menu and edit all the stuff that you recorded. So if you need to process stuff or anything like that, you can process stuff. And then, you know, if you go back in the program edit and you want to warp, you know, each individual pad or whatnot, you can, you know, do that as well. So that is one of the key reasons why I do that workflow over the audio track, because it gives me more flexibility on the other half of it. And this is the biggest part. When I press main menu, you can go over here, and let's say, you know, we have that track together or whatnot, and I want to separate, put it on separate tracks. I can just go right into this pencil sign and then explode the track. Now all those tracks that I have are on each individual part. And now we have something really good. You feel me? Again, a great tutorial from Jermaine Dupri. He was trying to convey something, you know, just trying to speak the language of the community, or he would be able to speak the language of the community as a multi-platinum producer that's worked with other producers and artists and all that stuff. So it's an interesting perspective at hand. And I appreciate the way that he tackled the situation. Instead of going crazy on social media and doing all this extra stuff as a leader, he actually just gave his insight, his knowledge, and didn't try to tear down anybody or punch down on anybody. And that's something I wish would be more present in our community, period, on YouTube, because a lot of people like to punch down on people and stuff like that when it's unnecessary. To the right of me, I have more content for that ass. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel. And also, if you're interested in any of the masterclasses that are available at 16levels.com, the links will be in the description box. The MPC 1 masterclass is selling like hotcakes. I appreciate all of the support from everybody in the community. And I will have an MPC X masterclass very soon. Stay tuned.